Finally, we have this stupid cam grease, so now we can put the new camshaft in the engine. And I gotta say, I have never done a cam swap before. I have built 2 Chevy small blocks like 15 years ago with the supervision of my dad, so I'm no expert at this, so don't take this as a guide or anything. I may watch a video in the background to see that I don't mess anything up, but I think it's gonna work out. So I already have the lifters have been bleeding in oil overnight, so they are good. So we're just gonna go ahead, put some grease on the lobes, put some engine on the journals, put in the cam, hopefully it fits. Then we can start putting lifters in, push rods, put on the front cover on the oil pan, and then we can see if we put on the intake and put it in the car. So that's the plan. Cam went in really smoothly, so that was nice, but it's actually harder to get it out than to get it in. So that's in. Now I'm gonna take out my new cam drive here. All of this started because the original cam drive was really worn out. Hard to see now, but it was really loose. So I thought, I guess I talked myself into this, but might as well change the cam chain and the sprockets, and if you do that, might as well change the cam. So yeah, but anyway, gonna see if I can get the cam chain and all of that on here. So here we have all of that on, and I didn't really understand how this worked since there were 3 keyways and you had these different symbols, but after Googling for some answers, because there was no instructions at all with this, unfortunately, but I found online that these 3 keyways are for if you want to retard or advance the cam. So the circular hole or half circular is 0, and I don't remember which one was retarded and advanced, but if we have the circled hole, we're going to have the circle as our indicator, and we have the indicator here on the camshaft. So I think I'm in the right place. I really hope so, because I don't want to take this apart again. So now we can put on the front cover and oil pan, and unfortunately my cart here doesn't accept putting in and out of the pan with the engine in it, so I have to get in the engine hoist, lift it up a bit, remove the cart so that we can put the pan on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in the hoist. I forgot that I probably should put in the lifters and all of the valve train before we start putting this in, so that I could confirm that everything works. So I took up the lifters, I wiped off the oil on the bottom, put on some cam grease and put them down, and I have cleaned all the push rods and checked everything, and I have adjusted these loosely. And something that I'm not sure about is that, I put the lifters in oil overnight, but I didn't pump them when they were submerged in oil. So, they obviously have a lot of oil in them, but they don't have any pressure, those that are not on the cam lobe right now. So I'm sure that they will pump up pressure and they will get a lot of oil down here, but maybe you should pump them in oil, but I'm not sure. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Hard to talk sometimes. But I have turned it over. We can see the valves move. So that's good. And something that was a lucky coincidence is that I did never check how much lift this cam had compared to the original cam. And I'm not sure if there is a problem where you can have too much lift with stock heads. Maybe people aren't dumb enough to put in too much cam with stock heads, but what I was thinking, maybe we would have a problem where we would have coil bind and the cam was trying to push it further, but it appears that we don't have that problem. So that's good. So hopefully this is going to work. So now we have all of this done. I'm gonna get the engine hoist, put this up in the air so that you can put on the front cover and the oil pan. And then we can start putting on the transmission and stuff like that, so we can start putting it in the car. I have the engine in the air, and I finally feel we're getting somewhere. So hopefully, if everything works now, and I think the only thing that might hang us up is if I have the wrong oil pan gasket, which I'm not 100% sure of. But if we can get the front cover and the oil pan on, we can get the engine in the car. And if we get hung up on something, we have a lot of other things to work on. So hopefully we can put a pan and front cover on and get in the car, and then we can tackle those issues. So let's put those on. Okay, so as I said, I was hoping the pan gasket would fit so that we could get the engine in the car. But I have learned something today, and that is that there are two different pan gaskets for Chevy small blocks, where this front lip has different thickness. So with this pan, it doesn't really work that great. I mean, we could force it together a little bit, but not enough. In the rear, it's a lot better. So now I have issues because there are some contradictory information on the internet, but some say that up until 1975, they used let's see here. I'm supposed to have a thin gasket, and I think they used a thin one up to 1975, but that's not the case on every information I found. But I have that engine that is from my 75 Chevy, which means that probably won't work. I don't know. Also, some say that some pans from 350s and smaller engines will interfere with the crankshaft on the 400 since they have a longer stroke. So yeah, I'm a bit screwed here. So I'm gonna see. I know I have a pan laying around. We're gonna check with that. But I just wanted to get this thing together. This was the only thing that wasn't supposed to fuck us up, because now I don't know how we're gonna solve this. So I found an oil pan I had laying around, and this is the correct pan. There is a small difference here in height. It's about 3 millimeters. I couldn't tell you in inches. This is 2 1/4, and that is 0.375. So whatever that is in the difference. But yeah. So I could use this pan, but this pan is beat to shit and it's really rusty. Even this plate here on the inside is dented because it has been so smashed. So I'm not really feel like I want to use this because it's in such bad shape. So what alternatives does that leave us? I mean, we could use this pan. All we have to do is buy a new one of these with the thinner front part. Yes, this is the front end, so this needs to be thinner. The thing is, I paid $28 for this, US dollars, plus shipping and some import duties. So I believe that I have this around $45 or something like that, $45-50 at home. I mean, I ordered with a bunch of other stuff, so it's hard to tell. But I would say I did not pay more than $50 for that gasket. If I were to buy the exact same gasket, but with the thinner part, I mean, it's the same thing. But if I were to buy that here in Sweden today, I would need to pay $120 for the exact same thing. And that really irritates me because I think it's more than double the price with shipping and everything to my door. So yeah, that really bugs me. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do there. I could just buy some regular cork gaskets with just the rubber part over the around the crank. So, but that is like $25. So that's not a big thing. It's just that I paid up. I felt that I paid up for a proper gasket or a better gasket. And now I feel I'm downgrading to buying a cork gasket. Also, that means I can't finish it today, which I wanted to do, which really, really irritates me. So yeah, I'm gonna think some here how I'm gonna do this, but yeah. The one thing that wasn't supposed to mess up really did. So yeah, gonna see how we're gonna solve this. So I've been thinking back and forth here, and my conclusion is I have ordered some cheaper cork gaskets here in Sweden because I really, really don't want to buy the same gasket I bought for much more expensive here at home. So it's gonna work just perfect with cork. It's just annoying that I ordered the wrong one and I have to wait until tomorrow. But either way, we only have 3 hours left here to work today, so we wouldn't have been able to put the engine in the car today anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal. It's just annoying that I can't continue with what I was working on. But there's a bunch of other stuff we can do. I really didn't show you, but I put on the front cover. I put in a new seal here. So we can put on the fuel pump, we can put on the water pump, we can lower it down, put on the intake and put on a lift plate on that instead. So there's a bunch of things we can do. So we're not losing any time, it's just annoying. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on working. Put on some stuff, water pump on, fuel pump on. So not much more I can put on. I think I'm gonna put on the damper and the pulley, is what it's called. And then we can't do much more. So yeah, put on the last stuff and see if we can find something else to do. Got the damper and the lower pulley on. And as you can see here, I didn't paint here on the timing markings because I didn't want to fill in these little numbers with the thick paint. So I'm gonna do just a light coat with some rattle can, and I'm gonna see if I can fill these in with white paint so you can see them a bit more, but it's gonna be easier to see them anyway when we don't have much dirt in them. And I'm gonna paint this white also, so I'm gonna see if I can make this look good. It's not perfect, but it's better. I mean, if you compare it to looking at some rusty thing with oil on it, this is amazing. So this is gonna help. So I'm gonna call that good, and I'm really looking for stuff to put on this thing. I was gonna put on the motor mounts, but I realized it will just make it harder to put on the oil pan. I mean, it takes like 30 seconds to put this on. Why should I put them on just because I wanna put something on? So I'm gonna leave them off. And I was thinking maybe I should put it on the ground, put on the intake, but the same thing there. Why bother when, I mean, I have like half an hour left here to work today, and I mean, I could get the intake on, or I can just wait for the oil pan gaskets tomorrow, put on a pan, then we can put it in the car and put on the intake when it's in the car. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna leave it there. I could try and find stuff, but I mean, I can't really find anything. So I'm gonna go ahead, clean the garage as much as possible so that tomorrow we don't have a bunch of tools and stuff on the ground when we're gonna try and hoist the engine down. And then tomorrow we get the pan on, we put on the transmission on all of that and get it in the car. Hopefully, I really hope we can get this thing in the car because I'm tired of having it outside the car right now. So I'm gonna leave you there, and I will be back tomorrow when hopefully we will get the engine in the car. See you tomorrow.